All right, guys, welcome to Beyond the Muscle. I'm really excited to welcome our next guest, Oscar Moscat. So, Oscar is a pro natural bodybuilder and he made quite the impact last year. So, he brought what I feel is, potentially one of the craziest physiques to stage last year. So, that is pretty awesome. Welcome to the show, Oscar. How are
Thank
things
you.
going on your end?
Everything's good. Training's good.
Yeah,
Just living the dad life with the four kids, and I
yeah,
do what I can.
good to hear. I saw your arm update recently, like 20-inch arms, is it at the moment, or 20 and a half? Pretty big. I'm jealous.
Yeah, no, they're decent. They're
Yeah,
decent.
yeah. I heard they're a bit of a strong point. They definitely a strong point. I saw you training with Zach Moore as well recently. He seems to have a pretty bright
Yeah,
future ahead of him.
yeah, he's next level. He's a great guy. Trains really hard, super smart, super funny. So, I mean, I can't wait. I'm super excited for him.
Yeah, yeah, because he's doing his first season. He's quite young as well, isn't he?
I think he's 27, if I'm not
Oh, okay.
mistaken. So he's yeah.
Pretty young, I guess. Yeah, for
Yeah.
bodybuilders, I guess. Yeah, he's got one of those kind of cartoon looking physiques. Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, man, his waist is tiny,
It's
tiny, big
ridiculous.
delts, tiny waist, nice legs. Like, the guy's just built different, man.
Yeah, yeah. That is pretty nuts to see. Yeah. Um, so before we get started, I need to ask an important question. So I heard you on the podcast with Kenny at Longevity Muscle,
Mhm.
and obviously we're both dads. I need to ask this: 10 hours sleep. How do you do it? Teach me. You get 10 hours sleep at night.
Well, it depends. Well, it's easier now because my kids are older,
Yeah.
but usually during prep, like my kids know once I hit the bed, like don't bother me, don't. So I try to get everything done before I go to sleep. My daughter's pretty small now. She's like 10 years old, so I help her with her homework as soon as she gets home from school. All the other kids are old enough that they don't care for me.
I see.
They
Right. Right.
just kind of do their thing.
Mm,
And my wife is awesome. I mean, as soon as she gets home, typically around 5 o'clock in the afternoon, she'll take care of the responsibilities. So I get to go to sleep early, which is great.
nice.
Um, in the off season, not so much. Now it kind of reverses. So she gets to go to the gym and do stuff. She still allows me to do my thing, but it's more of a free-flowing type environment here.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
my sleep kind of takes a dip during the off season, but during prep, it's like I have to do it because I
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to function properly.
Now that makes sense. Yeah, and obviously sleep is something that really affects people differently, I find, on prep. Did you find that yours got worse anyway?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I would find myself waking up in the middle of the night,
Mm,
um, kind of restless, but I usually take like ZMA or some type of sleep aid to help me
yeah, yeah.
doze off. So for most nights, I averaged around 10 to 12 hours of sleep, which was great.
That's
But
amazing.
I did have my days that it's just, that's just not happening. Your
Mm,
body's just fighting it and you're going to sleep hungry, all that.
yeah, yeah. There's no escaping it in prep, is there really?
Yeah.
I'd like to delve into your training and like your mindset a little bit, Oscar, because I think there's some interesting areas to delve into. But before we do, can you tell us a bit about your journey and just how you got into lifting and then bodybuilding too?
Yeah. So I did martial arts since I was super young. I mean, I started, I think, when I was 5 or 6 years old.
Well,
So I've done like three types of martial arts. So I've always had a decent physique. And then one of my buddies that I went to high school with, he basically suggested like, "Hey man, you should lift." I'm like, I'm not really. That doesn't sound. I mean, I already had a decent physique. I looked in the mirror and I thought I looked okay. And I didn't have issues with girls or whatever. So I just kind of brushed him off. Then I had a breakup, and then he had a breakup at the same exact time.
right, right.
He's like, "Listen, man, I'm going to the gym and it's really helping. You should come too." And we both started going together. And after that, it was just,
Mm,
yeah, I never looked back. It was pretty, yeah, my body changed. I mean, within 3 months, I was
yeah.
already seeing results. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool. And it
Mm,
just kept snowballing after that. And
yeah.
then in 2018 was my first show. And I just did that just for the hell of it because someone called me out. And after I got on stage, man, I never looked back. That was actually super cool. I was not expecting to feel the way I felt or the reaction that I got from people. So I just kept going. I kept doing that after that.
Yeah, amazing. So you've had three, is it 2018, 2022, and then 24, is that right?
I did 2018, got my pro card. 2022, I had to re-get my pro
Yeah,
card.
yeah.
2023, I competed, and 2024.
Oh, you did 23 and 24. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, that was
2023, I did the Monster Mash and I
yeah,
went against Brian DaCosta that
yeah,
year. And then 24 was when I did the Monster Mash and then I did Worlds.
yeah, yeah. That was it. Yeah, no, last year obviously it was you and Babacar at the top two, and it was it was crazy. A lot of people say it was like the craziest kind of top two of ever any natty show, and it's kind of it
Oh,
really
wow.
was those two physiques together. What lessons would you say you learned from last year? Any lessons at all, Oscar?
Probably just come in leaner, start my prep leaner. I mean,
Okay, yeah.
because I like my off season. I like
Hmm.
putting on weight. I like feeling normal.
Hmm.
But this time around, I think I'm just going to drop about 10, 15 pounds, stay there for about 6 months, and then start prep.
Yeah,
And that'll put me in a better position to not feel disgustingly out of reality when I'm on prep. So
yeah.
I don't, honestly, the package I bring on stage, I don't really pay mind to it just because every year I've gotten better. So every year that I've competed, I feel like I've gotten better from my last show.
Hmm.
And I think that won't change. It's just a competitive aspect that we all have. We just want to beat that last version.
Hmm.
So I'm not too worried about that. It's just more the feel. Like I don't want to feel like I have to push those last 2 weeks to
Hmm.
really bring something different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, would you say the progress from 2018 to 2022 was the biggest leap in your overall physique development?
That's a good question. Honestly, I liked the changes from 22 to 23 more than I did from 2018 to 22.
Interesting.
Just because the 2018 to 22 was such a long gap that I didn't really keep progress as consistently as I did from 22 to 23, meaning
Right.
like photos and videos. So I wasn't able to see those changes as
Mm,
dramatically as I did from 22 to 23, where my legs grew, my back got better, my chest grew a little bit, my shoulders got better.
yeah.
18 to 22, I was like, everything got better because it's 4 years. And it's
Yeah.
like, I expect that.
Mm,
But 22 to 23, that was, yeah, that was cool to see.
that's
And I
interesting.
think that's when I really started thinking about competing in the pro stage,
Yeah.
where I'm like, maybe I can hang with these guys, and I just don't know it. So I really
Mm,
pushed myself in training, and it paid off. I thought I did better than I thought.
yeah,
I
yeah,
wasn't
'cause
expecting anything close to where I ended up in 23. And
yeah.
mind you, I lost to Brian, which is fine, but he became the world champion. And at
Yeah.
that point was when I'm like, okay,
Mm,
maybe I can hang with these guys. And 24, I just said, all right, screw it. I'm going to do worlds.
mm. Yeah, and I remember you said, didn't you, top five was your aim, but you eclipsed that goal, obviously, didn't you? So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And again, I
Interesting.
don't, to
Mm.
me, that stuff, not that it doesn't matter, but it shouldn't dictate, if you know what I mean.
I do, yeah, no, that makes sense. It's hard because in a way, obviously, you're judged against other people, but yeah, it's getting that balance between are you just improving generally and how am I doing against the others? I get what you're saying. Um,
Exactly.
Something you mentioned as well. So you mentioned an interest in like philosophy and like psychology on a previous podcast. So yeah, that's an area that I kind of I find quite interesting myself. I in my early 30s, I listened to like loads of like Sam Harris and Jonathan Haidt, like those kind of people, like reading a lot of their books. I'd be really curious to hear like has your interest in like philosophy and that kind of mindset has it affected how you approach like bodybuilding or training at all?
In a way, a lot of the stuff that I think about is how we affect our reality. So the way we think, the way we act, the things we say, usually translates into action that affects, your results, your future. And I take that into every training session. I don't go to the gym to be on my phone. I don't go to the gym to talk to, it sounds rude, but I'm there to literally just dive into the training and sink myself into the deepest depths of pain that I could possibly imagine and see what comes out of it. Because every training session, you're taking a step toward becoming a better person. It might not seem like it because you're not seeing your calves grow that same day, or it's just every single session is a small, tiny step
Mm,
where 2, 3, 5 years from now, you see, oh my God,
Mm.
that day that I pushed extra hard pushed me to do even better the next day. And then it just compounds and it turns into something ridiculous at the end. So I that's the approach I take. Philosophically, for me, I'm the center of my universe, and I think everybody is.
Yeah.
So I don't think that someone else is less than I am. I just think that that person is living in their reality and they're making the best of it, and I should do the same. And in the end, if we all do that, it just makes the world a better place. And that's just my personal thing. I know a lot of people don't see it that way, but I mean, it's worked out for me.
Mm.
So
No, that's really interesting. No, that yeah, I love that insight there. And yeah, going back to what you're saying as well about the calf growing. Yeah, bodybuilding is like the ultimate delayed gratification thing because it's you
yeah,
don't see progress for a long time. You really
absolutely.
don't. Yeah. Like putting the physical aspects aside for a second, do you feel there are any traits, any kind of psychological traits that make a good bodybuilder at all?
You have to be a little bit psychotic, honestly.
Yeah.
It takes a certain type of person to walk into a gym and put 300 pounds on their back
Mm.
and say, yeah, this is a good idea.
Mm.
You know what I mean? You have to be some type of crazy to
Mm.
get down to like single digit body fat and think that this is cool. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
you feel like crap. Like, it's not a good thing. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
but I don't know. It's not for everybody. I've seen guys with amazing physiques,
Mm.
physiques that would just absolutely destroy any conceivable idea of what natural is,
Mm.
and they just don't want to compete.
Yep. Yeah, it's
I've
weird.
seen people at my gym
Mm.
and I approach them and I say, bro, you should really compete. They're like, yeah, no, I don't like that dieting stuff.
Right, right, yeah.
And that's a real thing.
Mm.
That was me before I started.
Mm.
That doesn't really look fun.
Yeah.
But then you do it and then you see how you feel and how you look. Like,
Mm.
I look pretty good. I feel like crap, but I look really good.
Yep, yep.
I like the feeling on stage. I like showing off what I work for.
Mm.
That's I feel like some people have that, some people don't. Some people feel shy. You
Mm.
just have to be some type of crazy to get on stage and do what we do, man.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a special type of mindset to have.
Yeah. So true. Yeah, that really is. That is, yeah. I guess that's a unifying factor, isn't it? A love for bodybuilding. Yeah, and a bit mental, bit crazy as well. Yeah,
Yep,
absolutely.
absolutely. Yeah.
That makes sense. So yeah, my viewers are probably kind of sick to death of me talking about this, but like personality types and bodybuilding, yeah, it's an area that really fascinates me, the two together. And having already heard you on Kenny's podcast on longevity muscle and just your general demeanor, you definitely seem to have like a much more relaxed disposition than a lot of
Mhm.
bodybuilders. Like if there was a spectrum, you'd have like super neurotic on one end, and then like Alberto Nunez, like super chilled on the other. And you definitely seem to be more on that end. Would you say that's true? A good description?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel
yeah,
like that's why I resonate with Alberto a
yeah,
lot.
yeah.
It's, dude, when you have kids,
Mm,
nothing else matters that much.
mm,
It is not that serious.
mm,
Every single one of us is getting on stage, and believe it or not, we're losing money
mm,
competing. It's, we're not doing it for the money. We're
mm.
not doing it for the popularity. We're literally doing it because we love the sport.
Yeah.
So once you get to that realization, nothing else really, I don't care if I'm first, second, third, fifth, 10th.
Yeah.
I did something that I didn't think I could do.
Mm,
How
yeah.
many people could say that?
Yeah. Yeah. So true.
And I did it for free, essentially. I didn't do it because someone was going to pay me. I
Yeah.
did it because I took that challenge and I wanted to do better.
Mm,
How many of us would do that?
yeah.
We
Yeah.
all go to work every day for a paycheck. You're in a relationship for that love that you're getting back. Everything
Mm,
you do is transactional,
yeah.
except for this one thing where it's like, you could show up out of shape, you could show up in shape, it doesn't matter. I mean, you're just there and
Mm,
then you go home.
that's so true. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
That's yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. That's
I'm
that's.
definitely more on the chill end. That's yeah. Me
Mm,
and Alberto, that's
you like that? Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Totally. Yeah, it's funny actually because I've got this little kind of theory myself, and I think being a parent can actually make you a better bodybuilder. And
Mhm.
I'm not advising those like with newborns, like jump on a contest prep or anything like that. But yeah, it does. You're right. I think there are far more important things in life than bodybuilding, and just yeah, having that perspective, it does. It just takes the pressure off like so much. Yeah, completely agree
Yeah,
with you.
absolutely. You're not tied to a result.
No, no.
Um, and to your point, having kids, I mean, like I said, I am kind of crazy when it comes to training.
Mm.
There are times where I'm about to put a load on my back that I've never done before, and I imagine my kids in like this weird scenario
Right,
where
right.
they're about to get murdered, and I'm the only one that could save them if I lift this weight. Like it just spirals, man. And I can't tell you how many times I've cried on a Stairmaster
Mm.
because I envisioned my daughter looking at me and being proud of me.
Mm.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like those are certain things that not a lot of people can relate because
Mm.
they don't have children.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, just go out and procreate just because you want to be a bodybuilder, but it does help. I mean, speaking to your point, like I've seen your physique. Your physique is awesome.
Oh, cheers. Oh, yeah.
Would you have gotten there if the kids weren't around? I don't know.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
your children, I'm sure, give you some sort of motivation or some sort of intrinsic value in what you're doing, where one day they can Google your name and say, "That's my dad."
Mm.
Like, how cool is that? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I don't know. It's
It's,
children do make a difference, though.
yeah, that's a lovely message. That really is. Yeah, it's funny because I've only competed like 2 seasons in 2015 before we had kids. And then last year, my kids come to 4 of my shows. I've got a 4-year-old and an 8-year-old. And yeah, having them in the crowd with me was just so amazing. Like showing them my first place trophy. It was like, yeah, this is so cool. It's such a nice thing. And now my son is getting
That's
an
awesome. To them,
interest.
you're like a superhero.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's it. It's amazing. And yeah, he's getting into bodybuilding. He's 8, so he's not gonna be on stage anytime soon, but he likes doing the poses and stuff. And yeah, it's really cool. Are your kids showing any interest in the whole bodybuilding at all, working out?
My middle one is pretty much knee deep into working out. Yeah, genetically, she's built.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she
Got your
just has
arms.
shoulders, arms already, like
Yeah, yeah,
just craziness. My little one actually used the pose with me when I was prepping for my first show.
yeah.
So I still have those videos and photos and stuff like that. And she'll watch like my shows. She doesn't work out yet. She's 10, but
Right.
she's she knows what it is. She's proud of me and she tells me all the time, which is awesome. But
Yeah.
yeah, my middle one's definitely the one that I'm looking out for, where I feel like she's going to compete eventually.
Oh, amazing.
She's just more into college and all that stuff now, so she's not.
Mm.
It's not a priority.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Have you got all girls, Oscar, or a mix of both?
I have three girls and one boy,
Okay, cool.
and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
boy is not showing any interest whatsoever.
Really
He's
interesting.
just, yeah, he's doing his own thing. And I'm the type of person, I don't pressure anybody to do
Yeah.
anything. I don't, I mean, I know what fitness has done for me.
Hmm.
Whether they want to adopt it or not is up to them. I let people live their life the way they want to.
Yeah. No, good mentality to have. It's not for everyone, is it? Yeah. No, completely agree.
Yeah.
Going back to like your general, how's the way to describe this? Are you someone that enjoys like structure and routine, Oscar?
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, are you someone that enjoys like structure and routine in your day?
I do. Yes. I have my stuff planned out. If a wrench is thrown in there, I get all antsy, and
Right, right,
and
okay.
this is something me and my wife talk about all the time, actually,
Really?
because she's completely different. She's just free flowing. She'll adapt to anything.
Mm.
I have my stuff set out, and if anything comes in between that, it's just, oh my God.
Okay, yeah. Right, right. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, I think all bodybuilders have a bit of that kind of mindset, don't they? Of
Yeah.
structure is so important. Um, yeah, taking a slight tangent. Yeah, so I've um, heard obviously heard you on the Longevity Muscle podcast, and yeah, just generally, you seem to have very much like an internal locus of control, like someone who makes stuff happen for yourself, rather than someone that just has things happen to them, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I know we obviously will have things happen to us; we can't change that. I'm curious to hear, has that mentality, that mindset, been something that you've always had, or have you had to kind of develop it over time?
I think the gym helped me develop that actually.
Okay,
Um, yeah, because I definitely wasn't that type of person before.
right.
Once I started training and seeing how passionate I was about it, I kind of worked my schedule around all that stuff. So
Mm.
I had to plan out my day in order to be able to have that training block ready for me when I was ready to go.
Yeah.
But obviously, with kids, like you said, things come up, things
Mm.
change, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But I always managed to get my training in. I told Kenny, and actually the Natty News guys, that
Mm.
I was actually at the gym when my daughter was going to be born.
Well, okay.
I made it in time, but I was at the gym. And that it's one of those things where, okay, I know she's gonna be due around this time. I'm gonna make time to go, and I made it, which is great. I
Yep.
was at the gym doing legs on my wedding day. Again, it was one of those things that I was like, all right, I know I'm getting married at this time.
Yep. Yep.
Today's legs, let me go take care of that. But you can do both. I always tell everybody you can always do both.
Mm,
When you say you don't have time, you're making up an excuse.
mm,
You can always wake up earlier. You can always go to the gym later. You can always take an hour to walk. You can do something. So the
mm.
not having time excuse is overused and it's bullshit, to be honest.
Completely agree. Yeah, it's just a case of priorities, isn't it? It's people not prioritizing fitness
Yeah.
in the right place. Yeah.
It's funny how we make time when fitness is the thing that can save your life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
down the road, your lungs are collapsing or whatever it is, you got to go to the gym, or you're gonna die in 6 months. Everybody makes time,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's already too late. And
Yeah.
this just sucks, man. Like,
Yeah. It's funny and it's so true. Yeah. Yeah. With a gun to the head, people will do what they need to do.
yeah,
Yeah. So true. Yeah. It's funny because I got involved. I got interested in fitness from more of like an aesthetic perspective. But yeah, it just happens to be that it's a very healthy, health promoting thing to do. So yeah, I got a
correct.
bit
Yep.
lucky there. Yeah, going back to what you're saying, it's funny. I've met a lot of people in all my years. I'm a PT, been PTing for like 20, almost 20 years now. And yeah, I'm convinced that people with more of like that external locus of control, they're just more miserable. I think they spend all their energy
Mhm.
complaining and none actually kind of fixing the issue. Yeah, so it's definitely true. Completely agree. Going back to like bodybuilding, I kind of think there's an element of people like not aiming high enough when it comes to what they can achieve. I'm coming back to bodybuilding after a little bit of a layoff, so there's yeah, I'm not too far. I'm not too sure how far I can push this thing. But I'm like an artist, so I do like portrait work for people. A bit less
God,
now,
that's
but
awesome.
yeah, yeah, and it's good. I like to create photorealistic like portraits and stuff. And I'll often look at my work and think like after the fact, think how did I do that? I'm quite shocked by yeah, what I can achieve, which I think is a good thing. And I suppose with yourself. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this, but I imagine if like a younger version of you had looked at your current physique, you probably think, how is that even possible? How have I managed to do that?
I-
Yeah. So yeah, do you think there's an element of people not aiming high enough in bodybuilding potentially?
I think it goes both ways. So I think there's an element of people not aiming high enough, and I think there's an element of people aiming way too high outside their scope.
Right.
And it's usually the people that aim way too high that criticize others. There's
Mm,
no way you're natural. There's no way you can do this. There's no way because they look at themselves and they think, I'm the pinnacle. I'm the top of the top right now, and I'm the best of all time. It's like, all right, relax, buddy. There's
hmm.
plenty of people that are way better.
Yeah.
And then there's the people that have, you know, just that short-minded look of what natural bodybuilding is. And believe it
Mm,
or not, they also attack us.
yeah.
There's no way you're natural. There's no
Yeah.
way because they've come so short.
Mm,
Honestly, I think, and this is why everyone should just focus on them.
mm,
What is the last version of you, and how can you beat that version?
mm,
I've seen Babacar, I've seen Brian, I've seen Julian, I've seen the top natural bodybuilders that you can think of. And I don't look at them and say, wow, they must be on something.
mm.
For me, it's like, damn, I got work to do. You know what I mean? And it's okay to have that mindset and say, if I come up short, at least I beat that last version of me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it never crosses my mind to say they're cheating
Yeah. No, no, no.
or they're not doing the right thing or that there's something there because I couldn't do it. I don't,
Mm,
dude, at the end of the day, believe it or not, we're all going to die. And 100 years from that day, nobody's going to remember us.
no, no, no.
Life is not that serious where you have to take what someone else accomplished
Mm,
and try to take it away.
yeah.
Have goals set within your scope. So if I look the way I do, what can I do to improve myself within 2 years? Let's see if we can get there. If I get there, let's double that. What
Mm,
can I do the next 2 years? It's sad, man. Like we catch strays from all angles. So
yeah.
yeah, they have crazy aspirations or they don't have enough,
Mm,
and both of them are kind of within that same spectrum where you attack the person that's doing the thing you want to do.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, I hadn't planned to delve into the whole because you've had so many like fake natty accusations. It wasn't something I planned to talk about at all here, because yeah,
Yeah,
you're probably sick of it now. I certainly would be.
I don't even care
No,
anymore. It's
it's I
whatever.
know, and yeah, and it's and like I've said before, I kind of get it. If someone is completely new to bodybuilding, they'll look at a physique like yours and think, wow, that's he must be on something. But then they kind of look at all the other top elites of the sport and they think, okay, no, everyone looks amazing at the top.
Yeah,
And yeah, so I think it's just an ignorance thing, but it must, yeah. I can imagine, yeah, it's just best to ignore it really. Um,
yeah.
yeah, it's a weird thing. Yeah, I get it.
It's like
People
an
should, yeah, you're right.
infatuation.
Yeah, you should just focus on yourself. I've been like self-employed for most of my adult life, so I've always been someone that's just kind of focused on me, looking after my family, myself, and yeah, I don't tend to worry about what's happening in outside of that. You've kind of know what I mean. And yeah, I think yeah, it's probably a
Do
best.
you feel like that makes you a happier person?
Yeah, I think it makes me feel more in control, definitely,
Yeah,
because if something's going to happen, it's going to be because I've made it happen, and that makes me feel good, having that element of control over things, I
yeah.
guess. Um,
And in the sense that because you're so focused on the things that you're doing and not so much outside of that, do you feel like the opinions of others matter? Or is it just like your in group where you're like, okay, I love you, so your opinion makes a difference. Whether it's right or wrong doesn't matter. It's the fact that they even have one, you listen to it.
yeah,
Or
yeah.
outside of that, do you tend to listen to opinions outside of your group or
To be fair, I'll listen to all sorts of opinions. Whether I take it yeah, whether I take them seriously or not, yeah, that's a different question. But that's an interesting one. Yeah, that's an interesting question. To be fair, that's got me thinking.
Yeah, yeah. Because
Um,
I find myself, I'm in, I kind of think the way you do, where
yeah,
if I'm doing something and I'm trying to make it happen on my own,
hmm
an opinion from an outsider, someone that I don't love or
hmm
don't have emotional attachment to,
yeah,
it almost comes off as hating right away. Like they might
yeah,
mean well, but you're just like, dude, you don't know what I'm going through. You don't know what I'm trying to do here. Like,
hmm
why are you even commenting or saying that I should do X, Y, Z?
yeah.
Man, I find myself like I've had to catch myself thinking like not everyone is out to get you.
No,
Some
no.
people genuinely want to give you advice that's helpful,
hmm
and it's up to me to take that advice, you know, or criticism, whatever it is, and look at it at face value and say,
Yeah.
okay, is this person trying to help or not? Does this make sense? And kind of analyze that stuff. And I was just curious if you've come across situations like that where someone's giving you advice
hmm
and you felt like, is this person trying to help? Am I just dismissing them without even listening just because they're not in the group? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. Yeah. No, I wouldn't dismiss it. I would listen to all advice, I think. Um, but yeah, I can understand that level of skepticism where you think, what are they? Is there a deeper meaning behind what they're saying? Are they after? Yeah, are they trying to get
Yeah.
me? I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's an interesting one. Yeah, that's got me thinking. To be fair,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're a way
But
better
some
person than I am, man.
what's that? Sorry.
You're a way better person than I am.
No, no, no. I wouldn't. I doubt that. I highly doubt that. But yeah, I think generally speaking, that I'm not someone who, the world can be a pretty shitty place, obviously, but when people are constantly moaning about, the government, this or that or this or the other, I think
Yeah.
just focus on you, just do your own thing. That's what I think.
Yeah.
I think that comes with, yeah, we're all different. We're all messed up in our own ways, right? I guess. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Um, but yeah, that was a fun little tangent. I enjoyed that. Onto your training, Oscar. This is something I wanted to delve into a little bit here because
Yeah.
your kind of style of training seems quite unique, and you don't train with a logbook, which is quite you take more of an intuitive approach to things. Is that
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Has this always been the case, or was there a time where you were more rigid with things?
I was more rigid when I first started,
Mm,
um, because I wanted to learn as much as I could.
mm,
So I wanted to see, what the limits were, what worked for my body, what movements hurt, what didn't hurt. So I would jot down certain things.
yeah.
In terms of rep ranges and stuff like that, it was more experimental. I'd never, I did the 5 by 5, I did the 8 to 12, like, and that's all great. I listened to the scientific studies, I read a lot of the scientific studies. You just pick up a lot of information and take and extract the things that work for you and drop everything else.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my approach to everything. Um, I think everybody's so different in terms of how we're built. A certain movements just not they're not going to work for you the way they work for me.
Yeah.
Um, Actually, it's funny because yet even yesterday I was watching a video of someone explaining tricep engagement. So like engaging the different parts of your tricep and underhand, overhand, blah blah blah. And you just see the comments going crazy, like underhand and overhand, there's no difference.
Mhm.
And the scientific study says boo boo boo. And in my head, I'm thinking like, damn, I've done underhand tricep extensions, I've done overhand, and I could feel the difference.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Yeah.
And it's like, what am I doing? I don't
Right.
care because I know what works for me. You know
Mm.
what I mean? And I get it. Like for the majority of the population, certain things don't work.
Mm.
But then there's a certain few that it does work.
Mm.
And maybe for that particular movement, I'm part of that certain few. And for other movements, I fall into the majority of the population.
Yeah.
Experience is the best teacher.
Mm.
So for me, that's always been the case. Let's try the movements that work, take those, put them in the bag, keep experimenting with different movements, put them in the bag or drop them in the trash. Like then over time, you build a little toolbox and you pull out certain tools anytime you want to work a body part, and it's worked fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had no issues. I've trained with people and they've had no issues. It's, you know, something's going right, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, what you've said there, that's so, so true. I think people they can be tied down to what the latest kind of scientific literature says, can't they? But
Yeah,
yeah, there's no substitute for actually experimenting. I think, yeah, you seem to be someone that maybe by nature is a bit more experimental. You want to try things, yeah, a bit more
mhm.
anyway. So yeah, that's an amazing message there. That really is true. Because I've been guilty of that. I think, oh, Matt Ogus is doing this. I'm gonna have to do exactly the same as him
Yeah,
or that. But yeah, the reality is everyone is built like differently. And yeah, like me, for example, I have such a long torso that yeah, certain movements just for whatever reason they just don't seem to work. So I have to kind of get rid of them, try some other stuff. Yeah, that's such a good message there. Really agree.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious about I think yeah, Kenny called it lab time, but this kind of experimental time at the end of each this session. So you would do a session, you do a little bit of tweaking at the end of it. Can you give us like the listeners an idea of what that looks like in practice?
Yeah, so today I have quads,
Mm,
right? So let's say I'm doing barbell, back squats, hack squats, split squats. So I'm doing all these types of quad movements. So I'll take the split squats and I'll add a wedge on my front foot. Okay, that feels really good. Then I'll tilt my body toward the outer part of my leg to see if it engages more my outer quad.
mm,
Oh, I kind of do feel a little bit more. What happens if I add a weight on the inside of my Oh my God, I feel it even more. What
right.
happens if I had the weight on the outside? Oh, it's pushing against the weight. So now I'm engaging my inner quad a little bit. It's those type of little things where
Mm,
I'm doing a movement at the gym, and in my head, I'm like, how can I make this a lot more difficult?
right.
So at the end of the session, I'll go back to that movement, super lightweight, nothing crazy to kill myself,
Yeah, yeah.
but enough for me to say I feel it differently than I did when I was working out.
Mm,
So on my next leg session, we're doing that variation. And then
right.
I'm using the guys I train with as kind of guinea pigs. They're
Right.
like, oh my God, this actually hurts.
Yeah.
Oh, this feels really good.
Mm,
And that's kind of how it's evolved over time,
yeah.
where I just take a basic movement, the simple squat pattern, and I turn it into something that for me will target a body part that I feel like is lacking.
Right.
So, if it's my tricep, a laying down extension, whatever it is, how can I make it more intense by increasing the angle, increasing the force? Like it's just, I call it stupid stuff,
Mhm.
but for me, it's just, it works. It's like little things that if I really want to get a workout in quickly and hit that part specifically, I know exactly where to go.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
really
It's
cool.
not something that I would recommend to people like, hey, try this. It's going to work great. It's
Mm,
like, I know this works for me, period.
yeah.
I don't really care if it works for you or not.
Mm,
And you'll see me sometimes, I'll post like stupid stuff and I'll say, hey, if it works, great. If it doesn't, throw it in the trash.
Mm,
Like that's for everything. That's
yeah.
the way I train is the way I train. And I don't say that it would work for you. I don't claim that it will work for you. I don't think it's the best way to train.
Hmm.
It's the best way for me.
Yeah.
If it happens to be the best for you, awesome.
Mm,
Congratulations.
yeah. Yeah. No,
But
that's
I'm
that
not
makes
going to
sense.
be tied down to like, this is the one thing. And I've always told people, anyone who speaks in absolutes and fitness is bullshit.
Mm,
Just don't even listen to them.
yeah. That's so true. Completely agree with that. Yeah. I've heard a few people say that and I agree. Yeah, there's something to be said for that. There really is. And that's why I'm not going to ask you about your trading split because yeah, honestly, it doesn't matter, does it? That's the thing. Everyone's
Yeah.
what you do is not going to be relevant to someone else. But yeah, just that bit there, so true. Just that tweaking, that experimenting. Yeah, that's kind of what bodybuilding is all about, really finding yeah, what stimulates the muscle the best.
Yeah. I mean, the guy who created the hack squat somehow had to create the hack squat.
Mm,
Didn't just, someone had to try that movement. It wasn't, you
yeah.
know what I mean? I don't know, man. I think people just take this stuff way too like technical and like, it
Mm,
has to be the vex.
mm,
No, just my God, can you just lift?
yeah,
Can you just do the movement?
yeah,
And then talk to me about angles and
yeah,
you know whether or not your outer quad is engaged if you move to the right or left. Just do the movement.
yeah, yeah. So true. And it's
Make sure
having
your
fun.
form is make sure your form is on point. That's one thing that I always preach. On
Yeah.
my compound lifts, I always make sure that my form is as best as I could possibly get it.
Mm,
After that, we're tweaking, man. We're going crazy.
mm, yeah, yeah. Yeah, really true, really true. And yeah, it's having fun. You've got to enjoy the workout. That's so key, isn't it, really? I think that's an area that's probably overlooked. People doing the thing because it's the cool thing to do. But if you're not enjoying it, yeah, you're not gonna be doing it years down the line. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so true. In terms of the off season, Oscar, so you're currently what is that, 6 months post Worlds? Is it roughly when was it, October?
Yeah, about 6 months. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was chatting about this with Dirk on the last podcast. So yeah, a topic I find quite interesting is like food drive and like body fat set point and where we kind of like fall within that range. There definitely seems to be like a spectrum when it comes to that with bodybuilders and their kind of proximity to stage weight, basically.
Mhm.
I definitely fall somewhere like in the middle. I'm not like Dirk. So Dirk, he just stays lean, pretty lean all year round. I think
Yeah.
it's eight
Yeah,
pounds
he does.
or it's 8 kilos, but it's yeah. Either way, he's very, very lean all year round. And he said to me on the podcast he has really, really low food drive. When he was a kid, his mum used to kind of force feed him because he just wasn't hungry. So yeah, he said
Eh,
prep was kind of a really enjoyable thing because he got to experience food like a normal person, basically. Um, yeah, which is interesting. Where would you say you fall on that spectrum of like the Dirk at one end and then someone who just loves food on the other?
Um, More toward the love food.
Okay, right, right,
Yeah, I mean I eat a lot.
right. Yeah,
But for me, it's if I look in the mirror and I still see abs, I know I'm okay.
yeah, yeah,
Once I start feeling lethargic where I can't move as well as I used to, if I can't jump as high, if I can't do a backflip or whatever it is, like that's when I'm like, okay, it's time to at least go on a small mini cut, 10, 15 pounds here.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I eat a lot, but then again, I train a ridiculous amount of hours, so it's
Mm,
kind of offsets. I think I'm 213 right now, 213, 215,
hmm
give or take.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel great. I
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
good. I
You're
know
in a
at
good place.
190s when I feel my best,
Really?
but I feel like that's way too close to where I want to be on stage, where
Mm,
like, yeah, am I really making improvements? Am I really moving the weight that I want to move?
yeah.
Um, So yeah, anything above 212, I feel good.
Sure, happy place. Yeah. Because you compete like the
Yeah.
180-ish when you was it 170, 180-ish.
I'm usually in the 180s. This
Yeah.
Worlds, I competed in 174, which is crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's your
Typically my
lightest weight.
stage weight is like 183, 180, around there.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so you're not a million miles above that even now, really. That's not a yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I
impressive.
give myself usually about 30 weeks for prep anyway, so it's
Mm,
whatever.
yeah, that's an interesting one. Yeah, you tend to favor a long prep, whereas I think Dirk's on the
Yeah.
other end, like I think he said to me like 16 weeks would be his ideal. So yeah, I think there's pros and cons to both, and we've just got to do what works for us.
Yeah.
In the off season, do you get in? is it a case of you kind of shoveling food down you because it's just so many calories or no?
No, so I keep the same mental perspective on prep that I do when I'm in my off season. I stop eating when I'm just not hungry anymore.
Okay, but you track calories as well.
I don't know.
You don't?
I
Okay.
just
Hmm.
just wing it. Yeah. On prep, I definitely do
Yeah,
because you
yeah,
have to. I mean, there's
yeah.
no way.
Mhm.
But yeah, no. Then my off season, I just eat, man.
Yeah. No,
Mind you,
that's
it's
fair.
good food. It's not, I'll have my cheat meals here and there, but I'm usually eating white rice, chicken,
Mm-hmm.
steak, fish, protein, like whey protein or whatever. But
Hmm.
once in a while, I'll have a burger here and there, but nothing crazy.
Yeah, yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah, no, that's really cool. Slight tangent. I wanted to ask Oscar. So, what advice would you give to someone who's thinking of competing for the first time?
Depends how many years are into
Oh,
lifting.
yeah, yeah. That's true.
If they're relatively new, actually, I'm training with a guy right now. He's 20 years old. He wants to compete, and I told him, nope, wait at least 6 years.
Yeah.
Give yourself at least 6 years of good training and a surplus, and see how your body changes. And go on a mini cut, see how you look, and then if you want to compete, go ahead.
Mm,
But if it's someone that's already, seasoned in training and wants to compete, just don't set your expectations too low or too high. Just go in with a mindset of I'm doing something that I don't think anyone in my group can do,
mm,
and do it, see what it turns out to, and if it was good, great, compete again. If it wasn't good, get better and then compete again.
yeah.
But I think that having that end goal of competing is a great thing, a great motivator.
Mm,
I don't think it's for everybody, but I think if you have the physique, you'll know if it's for you.
mm,
You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
there's certain people that you can just look in the mirror and okay, your shoulders are good, your waist is small.
Mm,
Just give it a shot.
yeah.
You'll see what happens and take it from there. But certain people, you just know, man, you don't have the work ethic. You're just
Yeah.
here just to be here. And
Yeah.
genetically, you look great, but you're just here to be here. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, that I guess that would be my advice. Just don't take
Mm,
yourself too seriously.
mm.
Do it and see what comes out of it. And if you love it, great. If you don't have to do it.
Great advice. Yeah, really, really good. Completely agree. Going back to what you said, actually, how long had you been training before you competed for the first time?
So 2009, 9 years,
9 years.
nine, ten
Okay.
years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, cool. Mm.
Yeah. And
Yes.
again, I did not want to compete.
Oh, yeah,
This
yeah. It's funny, isn't it? Yeah.
I was doing it just to look athletic, to be able to jump higher, to play basketball, like to do the things that, play with my kids, all that stuff.
Mm.
And it just took that one guy in the bathroom.
Mm.
Always that damn guy in the bathroom.
Yeah, yeah. Always. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
man. You're not natty. If you were
Oh,
natty, you would compete. It's like, all right,
yes.
bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Hey,
sure.
I guess it worked out well if that's what got you to compete, so it's all good. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you take it as a sign, like maybe this is God telling me I should, but
Mm.
it's just ridiculous the fact that it has to get to that.
True, true. Yeah. Um, on to your future plans, Oscar. So when are you next looking at competing?
Next year. So
Okay,
this would be
26.
my first year in 4 years that I actually have an off season. So
Yeah.
I wanted to enjoy that. Yeah, so 2026, I'll do Worlds, the Natural Mania in New York, and then I'm doing the Mr. America as well.
Oh, amazing. Yeah.
Yeah,
In terms of improvements, I guess the arms can't improve much more. What about what's on your list to
correct.
improve?
Yeah, I barely trained them. Shoulders for
Yeah.
sure. Just overall delts for some, I don't know. My front delts are pretty decent. I just want my side and rear delts to catch up because my triceps from the side, they're so big that
Yeah.
I just something even at least.
Right.
Um, Quads always, everybody wants bigger quads.
Mm.
Um, yeah, my chest.
Hmm.
I bet. You know what? Everything. Just throw
Everything,
everything
everything,
except the arms.
everything but the
Everything
arms.
except
Yeah,
my arms.
yeah.
Yeah, but the main focus for me, at least this time around, it's my side delts and then my outer quad.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Okay, cool. Mm. Yeah, yeah, the arms there. Yeah, they're big enough, I think. Yeah.
yeah,
Um
it's insane, dude.
yes, yeah, it is crazy. Yeah, I don't think I've seen arms yet. Doug Miller is another one. Yeah, there are not many in the world that have your your kind of arms. Pretty
Yeah,
pretty nuts.
actually, Doug, I before I even got into bodybuilding, I remember seeing a picture of him and I'm like, oh my God, there is someone else.
Yeah, that's
But it's just one of those things, man. Like I told Kenny the same thing when I was my first day in the gym, first day there. There was some guy who just kept telling everybody in the gym that I was on steroids. I'm like, dude, I don't even know what that is. I'm
yeah.
just like a 20-year-old kid trying to figure out my life.
Mm,
But it's just one of those things. Like I've always had freaky arms and I get it. And I look at myself in the mirror and I understand why people say what they say.
mm.
But at some point it's like, all right, man, it's enough is enough.
Yeah.
Jesus.
No, no, exactly. Yeah. Haters gonna hate. There was always, yeah, it's always gonna be the case.
Always, always. And then there's always the oh, you can cheat those polygraphs. You can cheat the urine analysis. It's like, okay, what
I
about the
wouldn't.
blood work? Yeah, you could cheat that too. It's like, okay, so there's literally nothing I
Yeah,
can
yeah, yeah.
do. I got it
You're not gonna convince these people. No, no,
at all. Nope.
no, no. Um, on to posing, Oscar. Is that something you enjoy? The general. I know because of bodybuilding, a lot of people see it's a bit like pageantry, isn't it? Kind of standing there in your posing
Yeah.
trunks. When I step back and think what we do, it is a weird thing. It's like it is a bit odd. I know bodybuilding is like a byproduct of all the training that we do, but do you enjoy the posing element?
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm,
Yep. I practice posing in between sets.
mm,
When I'm close to like show day, I'll mentally rehearse my posing routine.
mm.
So I won't do it until I get on stage.
Yeah, yeah.
So anytime I've posed on stage, that was the first time I ever did the posing routine.
Really?
But it's almost like a thing for me where I want to back to what we were talking about, thoughts become things and just making that image in my head into reality.
Mm,
And it's always worked out great, which is awesome. But I love posing, man. It's
mm.
so cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Just the movements, the reactions from the crowds, the way you present
Mm,
your physique and matching it to the song.
yeah.
I think that's an aspect of bodybuilding that unfortunately I feel like it should get judged a little bit harder in the sense that it should count towards something, not
Mm,
just a posing award, but like toward the actual competition.
yeah. It's different with different federations. I think some rank the individual routine a little bit higher, don't they, than others?
Yeah.
It's federation dependent, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, posing wasn't something that came naturally to me, but I got a posing coach last year, which was great. Another it was a pro bodybuilder who was coaching me, and yeah, it was a game changer. Completely changed, and I ended up loving posing, not just the actual mandatories, but even the routine. It was
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
You
great.
start seeing your physique differently. Once you hit the poses right, and
Hmm.
everything pops, you're just like, oh, damn, okay.
Yeah, yeah, no, 100%. Well, Oscar, this has been a ton of fun. Thank you so much. We're coming to the end of our time, but as I do with all my guests, we're going to do some quick fire questions at the end. So, what is your favorite film?
Gladiator.
Oh, that's a good answer. Second person that's answered that, actually. Not the second one, I take it. It's Gladiator
No,
2,
no, the
isn't it?
first, definitely the first.
Amazing film. I can't believe that film's 25 years old now. That always, yeah, boggles the mind.
Yeah, he's
Nuts.
such a
Yeah.
badass, man.
It's an amazing film, but yeah.
Yeah,
What's your favorite food when you're dieting, Oscar?
I don't have one.
No, no.
I no, honestly, just a protein shake.
Yeah.
I eat the stuff that I don't like when I'm dieting. So I'm not a chicken guy, and I
Yeah.
eat chicken.
Right.
I rice is bland, tastes like shit. It's
Yeah.
just the whey protein. Let's go with that.
Fair enough. Okay, cool. And what's your favorite off-season food?
Ah, pizza.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's good answer. Lastly, what are your hobbies outside of bodybuilding?
Reading, podcasts,
Mm.
meditation,
Ah, nice.
video games sometimes.
Okay.
But yeah, for the most part, I'm always watching like some type of like weird meditation type, like astral projection and all that weird. So I'm
Okay.
I'm huge into that stuff. But yeah,
Interesting.
you'll catch me either like with my eyes closed on my bed and like trying to get into the astral plane or whatever it is. But
Okay.
yeah, man, I'm huge into that stuff. I read a
Yeah.
bunch of books about it, and it's kind of a eccentric type thing that I do.
Yeah,
Eccentric,
interesting.
sorry, eccentric.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've delved into meditation a little bit years ago. I got the Sam Harris app Waking Up, and that was really cool. I love that. I did it every day for 6 months.
Did you ever find yourself like experiencing something that you couldn't explain?
You know what? You say that. I had this one really strange experience. I took to meditation very quickly. Like me and my wife both did it together. Like it was like 10 minutes a day, guided meditation with Sam Harris. And I really enjoyed it. I was able to shut off, really kind of get in the zone. I had this one weird experience where I had this feeling of not being in my body. Very, very strange, kind of disconnect. And I was like,
Yeah.
what the hell just happened? That was fucking
Yeah.
insane. And I woke up, not woke up, I kind of come out of it after. I was almost like shaking. So I was conscious, but yeah, disconnected from my body. Very, very strange. And yeah, I've had that happen twice in the, I guess a year of doing it, but hasn't happened
Did you hear
since.
a pop before it happened?
I didn't, I didn't hear. No, I don't think so. Why is that?
Okay. Well, I was reading a book about that. It's my buddy of mine. He experiences this often. Like
Really?
he'll project out of his body,
Hmm.
and he says right before his body starts shaking or
Right.
vibrating, and then he hears a pop.
Wow.
And
Okay.
when he opens his eyes, he sees himself laying down.
Right.
It sounds insane.
Right.
The only reason I believe him is because I read this in a book
Yeah.
and I'm talking to him and I'm like, hey man, listen, I was reading something and this guy was talking about astral projection and traveling outside your body. He's like, oh, I know what that is.
Right.
And
Right.
he explained to me
Right.
what I had read in the book, and he had not
Mm.
read the book.
I see. Right. Right.
Like
Interesting.
word for word. Oh, it vibrates, you hear the pop, then you open your eyes. I'm like, no way.
Right. Right.
Yeah, but it's really cool, man.
That's weird. Yeah.
I've almost gotten to that point where I
Right.
felt my body vibrating,
Mm.
but I just wake up. I'm too scared to like delve into that
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
next
Yeah.
step, you know what I mean? But
Mm.
yeah, I think the mind is more powerful than we think, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, there's kind of not misunderstood, but there's a lot more to discover, I guess. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Another way of describing it for me would be like, yeah, you've got even when your eyes are closed, you get a sense of which way up you're kind of facing. There was
Yes.
that had all gone. That had kind of gone. I didn't know. I knew I was in my living room. It was like in the couch behind me, but I kind of had no idea kind of what direction I was facing. Really bizarre experience. Um,
That's cool.
yeah, but the problem is I then went to kind of chase and recapture that, but it never happened. It
Yeah.
happened like a year later. But yeah, it was the kind of experience where you'd think, like if you were doing mushrooms, that's what you'd get all the time. But yeah, I had it just from
Yeah.
sitting there with my eyes closed. Mental.
Dude, that sounds
That's
awesome.
yeah, 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 yeah. That's really cool. You're into that. One quick question. I'm curious. What video games or what do you play?
Right now it's Nintendo Switch, just because we had bought it for the kids, but they don't play.
Right,
But
right.
I'm usually like into basketball games. I'll play Mario Kart.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, there's another game called Sifu that I play. It's
yeah. The
like
martial
martial
arts
arts
game.
stuff.
Yeah, I've played that. It's cool.
Damn.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah,
nice.
yeah. I've played on
All right.
Xbox. It's really cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just kind of stupid little things like that, I guess.
It's a nice way to unwind. I find like a bit of gaming. I've got
Yeah,
a
it's
VR headset.
mindless. You just
Yeah, yeah. You go. And like, yeah, I got a VR Quest. I got a Quest 3 like for after Christmas. My brother-in-law got one. And I thought that's really cool. I have to get one. And that is like it's next level because you're literally yeah, you get transported somewhere else, and it's really cool. I like that.
oh damn.
But yeah, yeah, it's cool.
All
But
right, I'm gonna have to get into that. My
yeah, yeah,
goodness.
I'd recommend it. You kind of once you accept the downgraded graphics, it's yeah, it's very immersive, should we say? Uh, yeah, it's cool. But yeah, Oscar, this has been a ton of fun. I've really enjoyed this chat, and yeah, you've given us some really interesting things to think about. So yeah, yeah, hopefully get you on again sometime because it's been a ton of fun. Um, yeah, thank you guys for
Absolutely, man.
watching and for listening, and we will see you next time. Cheers.